Okay, I'm officially a youth.
A youth.
Okay. Huh?
I said I am officially a youth.
Okay, officially. But aside from that, the Olympics ended yesterday, and after spending the sum of, total sum of what we spent is 12 billion naira. But for this particular one in Paris, it was 9 billion naira, and we came back home empty-handed.
Very sad. My Nigeria's hopeful Toby Express. It was such a disappointment for me. I stopped watching the Olympics when she couldn't qualify for the 100 meters hurdles, which was her strength. She came third in the heat. Why would Todd not qualify? It's very unfair. I feel sorry for her. Very hardworking girl.
Why would a world champion come third?
Come third.
And
it
for
happens.
me, like you just put it now, I was very, very disappointed in Toby. It's either she was overconfident or
but she's very hardworking. Let's give it to her. I don't know what happened to Toby, but I just felt sorry for her because this is what she had always wanted. This would have just crowned
the deal breaker for her.
Yes, it would have been the deal breaker for her, the Olympics medal. It's just unfortunate. How old is she now? Can she make it into the next
27 now.
In the next 4 years.
4 years. She'll be 30. Well, she might still make one more.
She might still.
I think this particular Olympic was her third one.
Yes.
And you know, all hopes were on Toby, thinking that, okay, she could get us a gold or a silver or a bronze. But at the end of the day, she got us nothing. She got us embarrassment, a world record holder who could not even participate in the final of the 100 meters hurdle. As if that is not enough. Some other competitions like boxing, like wrestling, Nigeria was nowhere to be found.
Weightlifting.
Weightlifting, God bless you.
Weightlifting. And I begin to ask, why are we not swimming with all the water we have in Nigeria? Even if it's from Lagos alone, with all this water surrounding us. We don't have anybody swimming? Okay, let's go to the Niger Delta. Don't we have anybody swimming?
In Ogun State.
You have good swimmers.
Raw talent, you can fine-tune them and, of course, prepare them for the Olympics.
It's like this Olympics, Nigerian contingent were not prepared.
But they were camped in Germany for 2 weeks.
Doing what?
Meanwhile, some other countries have been preparing for 4, 5, 6, 7 years. There was a particular lady from Sri Lanka, I've forgotten her competition now. She said she's been preparing to win gold for the past 7 years.
There's this little girl I follow on TikTok. She's about 5 years old.
And during the closing ceremony yesterday, they came out in white and green Kampala. And some of them were excited.
And they were still smiling.
Yes.
What do you expect them to do? Do you want them to cry?
You know, I think you start very, very young and you keep at it, being consistent. This 5-year-old girl, I can't remember her name. She comes, you know, she comes first in all the races. 100 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters relay, 4x100. 5 years old though.
Imagine.
5 years old.
Yes. She has been groomed from little.
Then I think if indeed we are very serious about developing our sports, we must go back to those days of grassroots sports development, Principals Cup, all those competitions that we used to have. Use fun in those days. Those were the places where the likes of Onyanli, Falila Tugunkoya were discovered.
Innocente Ebunike, I remember those. Yusuf Ali.
Chidiumo.
Chidiumo.
Yeah. Joy wouldn't know those people.
No, you can't know them. Forget about it.
But, you know, it was a bout outing for Nigeria. And if indeed Mr. President is serious about measuring the performance of his ministers to continue to be in office, then this particular minister should be fired.
Yes. I agree with you.
And even the sports commissions, what are they doing?
I was saying the LOCs, all this, they have.
You remember the time when, what's the name of this man of blessed memory? Alex Akinyele was in charge of NOC. It was quite effective.
Yes.
But what we did not get, what we did not get in terms of...
we have our demons that we're fighting as a nation. Yes.
And some of our local government chairmen too. Do they have any policies targeted at developing sports at the grassroots? Go to primary schools, go to secondary schools, and discover talent.
Yes.
It is well, oh. Well, how would you discover talent? When you go to most of schools now, there is no even one single field
to play.
For them to play football or run.
Sad.
It is well with their country, but we must commend the Tigers, and of course the coach got an award.
Because they are not based in Nigeria.
The Tigers coach was rewarded for her efforts, and of course we must commend who else again? The Super Falcons. They also tried as well,
Yes.
even though their group was quite difficult. So we did not get we got a medal for not getting a medal.
You got the medal for not getting
We went
it.
like this, and we came back like this. A medalless country. All right, medal or no medal, our country is our country. We'll continue to pray for our dear country, Nigeria. So quickly, we'll go to the news point for today. And we have so much coming from Lagos today. Some good news, if you ask me. Joy.
Bless you. Okay.
Thank you.
Sanwo-Olu to announce monthly sanitation, says Commissioner. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, is expected to announce the commencement of monthly sanitation exercise in the state. The Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, made this known on Sunday that the governor would soon make the announcement, according to the statement by the ministry's spokesperson, Kunle Adishino. The state government also emphasized the importance of good sanitation practices among all residents in order to ensure a clean, flood-free, safe and sustainable environment across the state. The emphasis was made by the commissioner during the weekly community-based environmental sanitation advocacy campaign held in Bariga Local Council Development Area in Lagos. The commissioner also mentioned that some houses in the state had been investigated and were found to have channeled their septic tanks into drainage channels or erected structures over them.
That's very
and he
gross.
said that the buildings will be sealed by the state government. Let me stop it here.
That's very gross. Why would you channel
Your septic
your
tank.
septic tank into the drainage channels? So that means your feces will be
Everything
coming out
is going there.
openly. No wonder we had this cholera outbreak in Lagos. Residents should begin to, act responsibly. It is. I think it's just wicked because and you don't care even about your own self. Health, they say, is wealth, and I agree. They should seal that place off.
Abi, Lagos is not a lawless state, and the fact that the monthly environmental sanitation exercise is coming back is going to restore some level of discipline in most of our communities, because you get to certain places in Lagos State and you ask yourself, are these people aware? Do they care about their hygiene? Are they aware of the environmental laws of the states? They do things like they're in Banana Republic.
I'm sure some people will now not go to court and say, why would they have to start monthly
sanitation exercise?
Why would they have to keep people at home
For 3 hours.
For 3 hours? Nigeria.
Well, we don't know the format is going to take yet, so
But
maybe when we get the brief from the state
Ajibala,
government.
if people are not forced to stay at home and do this thing, they won't do it.
But would they do? They'll just sit at home and not do it.
They won't do it. Let me move to the Lagos Blue Line begins 72 trips per day. The Lagos Rail Mass Transit Blue Line will from today upscale the number of trips from 54 to 72 per day. The Managing Director of Lagos Metropolitan Area Transport Authority, Abimbola Akiajo, made this known yesterday in a statement. He said the Blue Line train riders will now travel between Marina and Mile 2 in just about 18 minutes from the previous travel time of 25 minutes. The implication is that there will be a train every 18 minutes both ways, thus allowing commuters to plan their trips. She also announced a 25% discount fare for commuters traveling within the off-peak period set at 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. daily. A new train schedule is potentially expected to reduce journey times, encourage more riders to use the train system during off-peak periods, and reduce transport spendings. Okay, she also said that new timetables are available on Lamata website stations and on their social media handles. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That's,
It's a good news.
Yeah, it's another laudable.
You are paying less for something as quality as the Blue Line, and of course the fact that more trips will be taken by the Blue Line should be a welcome development for Lagosians, especially those who have not had the advantage of riding inside that Blue Line.
Yeah.
At least Joy can tell us how comfortable it is the day she rode inside the Blue Line. But my own concern is this. As much as the government of the day is trying to improve the quality of infrastructure that we have, we should not vandalize those infrastructure, because I've seen some people, somebody actually sent a video to me, somebody trying to write on the seat. Honestly.
Maintenance
A child?
culture.
Not a child, a balagba.
Maintenance culture over here is quite low.
No, we just.
And then you come back and complain that
Badly
government is not doing
behaved.
anything.
Why are you writing on the seat? That's why I asked if the person was a child.
You might be an adult and act like a child.
Like a child.
Age is nothing but number. So that's taxpayers' money at work, and the fact that the administration of Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu is concerned about the welfare of Lagosians. The 25% reduction will go a long way in reducing what people spend on transportation here in Lagos State. So from Lagos, we'll quickly move to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, where Labour and, of course, their presidential candidates, Peter Obi, they are asking Mr. President to end the blame game on bad policies. The Nigerian Labour Congress yesterday asked President Bola Tinubu's administration to stop the blame game, reverse its policy that have caused hardship to Nigerians, and engage in meaningful dialogue with relevant stakeholders. Similarly, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in 2023 election, Mr. Peter Obi, said the nationwide protest, which ended on Saturday, were a call on Nigerian leaders to reflect deeply on the growing poverty in the country and to take steps to address it. Former National Vice Chairman, Northwest of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Saliu Lukman, spoke in the same vein, describing the nationwide protest against hunger and bad governance as sufficient grounds for impeachment of the president and stop state governors. The NLC also alleged that since President Tinubu took over the reins of power, he had engaged in harassment and intimidation of labor leaders, adding that the recent invasion of its headquarters was to provoke the labor movement. These, among others, were contained in a communique issued at the end of the Emergency National Executive Council NEC meeting of the NLC over the weekend. In the communique by NLC President, Mr. Joe Ajero, NEC reaffirmed the Congress' commitment to defending the rights and welfare of Nigerian workers, saying it will not hesitate to take all necessary actions to ensure their safety and well-being. The National Executive Council of the NLC equally convened an emergency meeting same day to address the invasion of the NLC Secretariat by security apparatus of the federal government, and the invasion of the National Secretariat immediately after the holding of the NEC emergency meeting of the 7th day to discuss the welfare of workers and Nigerians in the midst of end bad governance protests, which is far-reaching decisions were taken, was considered worrisome. So NLC, Nigerian Labour Congress, and the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election asking Mr. President to end the blame game rather. And you know, I find it funny, somebody here calling for the impeachment of Mr. President. What has he done?
Who is he to be calling for the impeachment? It's just a disgrace.
You know, the kind of politics that we play here, even when you are in the opposition, they hardly see anything good in the ruling party. Exactly. We saw what happened in the UK.
Yes, despite all the riots, we still saw the leader of the opposition, you know, still trying to calm down the people, you know, and in support of the current prime minister, though they are not of the same party. We need to learn to, you know, talk with one voice, like you said the other day. Nations will always have issues.
Yeah.
And you don't say, oh, the president should go. Once we have an issue.
Will that solve the problem?
No, the problem is still there.
Okay, I wonder what with us, Peter Obi actually achieved as the governor of Anambra State then. Because there were allegations as regards shares infidelity in a particular bank and some other investments which a particular man used the state money to invest. So if you cannot prove yourself at your state level, then why are you castigating somebody who is trying so hard to put the country on track?
You know, I think it was on Friday, or was it on Saturday, that the president met with the Patriots, headed by Baba Emeka Nyauku.
Yeah.
And, you know, they told him two things, one of which I remember is about the Constitution, that the current president, Tinubu, should, you know, sit down with stakeholders and ensure that we have a new constitution, that the constitution we're using doesn't match, you know, today's realities. And he said, okay, in response, President Tinubu said he has listened and he will ensure that, you know, he implements what they have demanded, and then he will get back to them. You know, I just like the fact that he's consulting.
Yeah.
He's consulting and he's listening. It's not about being a government worker or anything.
Oh, you're a member of APC?
I am not a member. I'm a Nigerian.
You're not carrying any card of any party?
I work with LTV. I'm a Nigerian. I just want peace. I want peace, and I want for the overall good. Yes, and I want a better nation. I don't want to be going to market and be meeting different prices of food. It doesn't come down. It's always up.
Well, we still have a long way to go as a country, and of course, we must continue to pray for our leaders, for our dear country, Nigeria, so that things will turn around for good. We must not condemn our leaders because they are striving hard to make things better for us. But you know, continually, people have been pointing at some of our governors. They are not doing anything tangible to support Mr. President.
You know, this thing also happened over the weekend, over the back and forth from Governor Makinde and federal government about the amount of money that was paid them, and he was saying, no, they did not pay him. Please, what is going on? Was he singled out? Or are the other governors trying to cover up something?
Well, we'll get to find out in a couple of days. So quickly, we'll move to X and see what is trending on X today. We all know that the new national minimum wage is the sum of 70,000 naira. And just yesterday, the management of the national regarding the payment of 70,000 naira minimum wage to core members. How much do they earn now?
33?
33,000.
How much?
33,000.
33,000. Oh.
And the ones in Lagos got 100K each.
Just that batch.
That was
that batch now.
That was their parting gift.
Those ones were lucky. They were
from
just
Mr.
lucky.
President. So for now,
From the governor.
the payment for National Youth Corps members is still 33,000 naira. The sum of 70,000 naira has not been approved. Before we create another problem, and the corps members will now be saying, "Oh, pay us 70,000, pay us 70,000."
But that is what they have started. 33K for coppers in 2024 is evil, according to Richester Dempsey, Mayor Frosh. We are not slaves. We are graduates. Pay us the minimum wage or scrap the entire NYSC. And they now have a flyer. End bad governance. Fight for your rights.
We say no to 33K starvation week.
Where were they when some people were protesting? They should have come out as well now. But we'll see how it goes.
It just doesn't end. You know, it doesn't end. It's from one issue to another. Okay, let's see how it goes. Youth Corps members, I was one a long time ago, and you know that token was enough for.
How much was it then?
6,000.
How much?
Life now.
6,000. 10,000.
I think mine was it 7.5 or 11K? I can't really remember now. I think it was 7.5 or 11K.
It was very small,
but you know, looking at the rate of inflation in the country, I think if they cannot get 70,000, maybe something more should just be added for them
So that
to survive these economy that is not so friendly to all of us. So that's what is trending on X. NYSC 70,000 naira minimum wage. We'll take a very short break on the program. Today on The Conversation, we are looking at something very, very important. It affects you and I. I'm sure you want to find out after this break.